Hello and namaste. It's Jewel from Goddess Creative. How you going? Okay, I thought I'd do another quick video. This one is on the topic of your abundance ceiling, your wealth ceiling. What is it? This is silly. Hello, darling. Hello. So your wealth ceiling is what you feel comfortable, the amount or the monetary amount value that you feel comfortable with. That is your wealth ceiling. Okay, so we all have one, and for some people they you know, a few $100,000, that might be fine. They sit in that resonance, that sits fine. But have a think about throughout your life how many times you've had a certain amount of money and it's flown into your life and it's flowed out of your life. So what I'm saying for myself, I had for a long time that was my wealth ceiling. That was the ceiling that I found very hard to push through, because anything over that didn't come into my resonance very easily. But this certain amount of money kept flowing in and flowing out, and that's the level I sat at. That's your wealth ceiling, right? And this actually happens 3 times in my life. 3 times I had a certain amount of money that easily could easily make, easily attain, and I sat there, and that was the comfort level that it seemed to sit at, and then it would flow out and flow back in, flow out and flow back in. This is over a long period of time, okay? So this was my comfort level at that step as well, right? So I want to say that we all have a resonance of level that we feel comfortable with, and anything over that we will start to feel uncomfortable with, and it won't resonate within our flow very easily. So you need to actually break through your wealth ceiling and start to feel comfortable with other larger amounts of money, right? So, and you can sense this and notice this perhaps if you're not used to going to fancy restaurants or driving in a real flash car or a beautiful home or something like that. It's not necessarily that, but you can sense it with your resonance of that, right? So, but some people will say to me, oh, I love beautiful things. I really enjoy them. Do you have them around you? Do you surround yourself? You know, are they all around you? For me, it's not so much an aspect of beautiful things, although, you know, I've had many beautiful things flow in and out of my life. It's hard to put the value on with just things, okay? Because it doesn't work like that. For some people it's things. They don't feel comfortable with certain things, but it's easy to make ourselves feel comfortable with material things, but how do I explain it? It's not just a matter of having fancy items or fancy clothing or fancy handbags or watches or whatever like that. It's more to it than that. You've got to sit in that resonance, that actual resonance of the. So, for example, how comfortable are you holding a big wad of cash money in your hand? How do you feel about that? Like, you know, I mean, have you experienced that? That's an interesting thing to ask yourself, you know, how you feel about it, how you feel about holding a large amount of cash, you know, and for so many people now, she's hiding behind the pillow, so many people now are just used to seeing large numbers on the screen, you know, because that's all we get used to. We don't get used to holding large amount of cash. But this is the thing that you need to get yourself used to holding, seeing. So when you looked at your cryptocurrency portfolio, did you see large numbers on the screen, and did you feel comfortable with it? And were you comfortable moving it and you know, transferring it across, things like that? So it is a wealth, like it's a wealth ceiling, and people talking about large amounts of wealth. So are you at a ceiling? So if you've been trading, for example, you know, is there a certain amount that you don't feel comfortable with? Or do we sit comfortably dealing, you know, moving and transferring and trading with, you know, a few 100,000? Are you comfortable with that? Growing your wealth, you know, and we do grow it gradually, but what I'm trying to say to you, we really want to be at the stage of allowing for millions to come in, you know, multi-millions. So are you blocking yourself because your resonance for millions is not that comfortable? So have a think about that. See how you feel with the resonance of millions. So my client I'm working with, and I just spoke to Spirit on her behalf, and she had a limit of around about 900,000. She didn't sit comfortably within the $1 million range. That's only $1 million. It's not very much these days, is it really? $1 million is not a lot these days. Here in Australia, with our property market, you know, you can hardly even buy a house. I mean, you can, but not a great house. Not if you live in Sydney, it's not a great house, it's a dump. So this is what I'm saying, you know, sit in your own resonance and get a feeling for what your ceiling resonance is, because we all have one, and a comfortability factor of it. So, you know, I mean, and some people will be really quite shocked if, for example, if it's property and your property's gone up in value, and it used to be like 700,000 or 600,000, but now it's worth $1 million. You don't really realize that $1 million, or that you're a millionaire, not really a millionaire, until you've sold it and you hold that amount of wealth. And then it'll just slip through your fingers because you don't sit in the resonance of that. That's what I'm saying. So we can earn it and it can come in, but it can just as easy slip out again. So I ask you to have a little think about how you feel, how it resonates with you. All right, so maybe you might have to clear some things in the ethereal field, right? Clear your etheric field to emotionally what resonates, what's, you know, how do you feel? How does a million, 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, 50 million, how does it resonate with you? I know you want it. I know you're saying to me, oh, it's great, not a problem. I feel good about it. I'm happy to let that in. Yes, but can you hold it? Can the resonance, does it sit within your resonance? Are you used to it? Or is it just going to slip through your fingers? Yeah. So that's something. What are you used to? What, you know, we have a resonance of what we're used to. Are you used to nice things? Are you used to talking, you know, seeing an abundance, seeing the abundance? And do we change our perception of this abundance and a meadow full of flowers? An abundance of flowers is absolutely no different to you than a meadow of abundance of dollars, or abundance of numbers on a screen, or an abundance of just flow of energy around you. So work as the alchemist and change the energy around you, because you can do that. Or if you want some help on that, that's something that I can do. I can shift. I can talk to spirit on your behalf, and I can shift in the ethereal your abundance, your wealth ceiling, your abundance ceiling, if you have a cap. Many people have a cap, they just don't realize what it is. This can block the flow of energy coming through, or if not block the flow, okay, so the flow can come, and you might have been practicing seeing, visualizing, allowing the flow of energy to come through, and you've been manifesting that, and yes, it'll come through. Can you retain it is the next question. So I ask you, will you be able to retain it, or will you be blocking it or pushing it away? So this is something to think about, and I'm just putting that out there for you today, and giving you information about your abundance ceiling, your wealth ceiling, because we have one, and I've had to break through my own. So I've broken through my own a few times in my life. So the one that I talked about, so I had this, like there's a couple of times in my life where I had 90,000 was one of them, right? So I earned it a few times in my life when I was younger, kept getting this same number of 90,000, earned it, lost it, earned it, lost it on different things that I was doing. Property, lost it, earned it again, lost it, right? So there was a reason, so I had to break through that ceiling. The ceiling is way higher now. So my ceiling sits, you know, in the hundreds now, but I've had to do alchemy now for it to sit in the millions. So it does sit in the hundreds now. Now I want it to be in the millions. So yes, interesting, isn't it? Okay, all right, I'm going to leave this one here, and just giving you a bit of food for thought to think about. You are the alchemist. You can clear your own field. If you have trouble clearing it, you can always call on somebody else to help you assist to clear it as well. Yeah, just food for thought. Okay, namaste. Leave it there.